What's going on, guys? It's Zigzag here. Welcome back to another Geoguessr video. Now, as many of you guys know, I like to play no moving, panning, or zooming the most in Geoguessr. That's easily my favorite format. And recently, I've been trying to plaster my name on the leaderboards as much as possible. So I have third place in Community World and second place in AI Generated World. And the next category down, logically, is then Arbitrary World. Now, since Steak was removed from the leaderboards, this one has a spare spot. And obviously, I think anything around the 58 mark would be worth submitting. So that's what I'm going to try and do today. Already, I've had a couple of really close attempts to that total, so let's just see how we can go today and see if we can get to that 58 mark. I really doubt that we can get up to the 128 that Kirani has set. Actually, a crazy record. But getting close is not out of the question. Here's the first round, should be United States, and I say that mostly because the double yellow lines in the center of the road. By the way, I will try and mostly explain my thought process here. I was thinking, could this be Alaska? I don't know what kind of highway symbols they use in Alaska, but some of the trees almost felt it. I'm pretty sure it's not, but I saw a yellow number plate, so I consider that might be possible. That's right on the border, definitely a kind of mixed vibe there, a bit further north. This one should be somewhere in Iceland. These yellow bollards, you only find them there. And yeah, these hills to the north kind of feel like it might be this kind of southern area here. So that's what I'm gonna go for. We'll see if I'm correct. And indeed, was indeed correct there, so very nice. Give the video a like if you are enjoying, and also give the channel a sub if you are new around here. Would massively appreciate it if you like this type of thing. And yeah, let's get into this next round here where we have double yellow lines, and we also have these bollards with the yellow tips. Would say these are just the Peruvian style bollards, and to confirm it, we have a little bit of paint job with the black and yellow on the guardrail here. So the question is, where do we want to go? I kind of thought southern looked more likely here, but I actually changed my mind. I'm going to go near Lima instead, and it was kind of a mix between the two, so still a good score. Next one here, Czechoslovakia or Poland, indeed, because we have a Polish pole here. The holes don't go all the way down to the ground, and the bollards are also Polish. Should be more south here, I think, and indeed it is, not too bad. And the last one of the first seed here, again, Eastern Europe. Now let's see if we can actually make up our minds here. I think Serbia is looking the most likely. Architecture feels Serbian, and then I don't really see like a good reason not to go there apart from that, you know. I think Poles are also round here instead of wholly. I can still see Czechoslovakia working here, but yeah, I think Serbia is most likely. And indeed it was in Serbia. Okay, so that was a very successful first seed, and we're already a 10th of the way there, so let's just keep that up. Next one here should be somewhere in India. This kind of poll looks right. Now, I know an Arbitrary Rural World doesn't have India coverage, but I think Arbitrary World does, and to be honest, it just looks like India with this pole and this landscape, and the road as well. I guess the other concern could be Sri Lanka, because these days, Sri Lanka and Bangladesh both have that low quality camera, and this does kind of look like Sri Lanka. But no, I'm going to trust that this is India. We'll find out if we're wrong, and it was Sri Lanka. Okay, next time. That was a Sri Lankan pole top. Next time we'll know. This is one of my first times ever having that coverage, so it's really hard to, you know, convince yourself to go there. That was long outer dashes there for Norway. Very easy clue to pick up once you've seen it a few times. Next one here, looking like, I think this pole in the distance has some holes in it, so that's probably going to be Portuguese as opposed to Spanish. But this sign here with going all the way to the edge with the red looks kind of Spanish, so I'm a little confused here. I think the rest of the vibe might actually be more Spanish. The main reason I wanted to go in Portugal was because of the poles, but it may actually be no holes there, I think. So I think my eyes were deceiving me. Let's try Spain here. And it was over in Portugal. Okay, so my eyes were not. So yeah, interesting. That sign felt Spanish to me, but normally the countries are distinguishable enough that I don't really need to use that kind of thing. Okay, that was up in Roraima. Very distinctive landscape up there, so just pretty easy to get most times. This should be like somewhere in Sri Lanka. I really struggle with these kind of ones with a lot of palms. I feel like I saw a really similar round around here yesterday, so I'll try that. That was the other side. I was thinking it should be somewhere coastal with that many palm trees, but you know, getting the right side in Sri Lanka is actually surprisingly difficult. Next one here, lots of golden grass. For whatever reason, when they drove the cars in Eswatini, there were tons of golden grass patches around, and so yeah, this should be always correct when you see that amount of golden grass in Southern Africa. This one is a lot of red soil, so I'm immediately confused about where this is. I think it's Sri Lanka, right? I mean, I think it's well, it is Sri Lanka. Wow, Freudian slip. Freudian slip. I don't even know what you call that, but I was really a subconscious kind of thing going on there, because I really thought that was Indonesia, but then said Sri Lanka, and it is, because we got this holy pole in the background here. So very interesting. Don't really know how that came about, but we'll go all the way north here. Yeah, had to be on one of those juts, I think. Okay, next one here, short dashes on the outside of the road, plus the fact that we have this red house. Should be somewhere in Sweden. If you know your Swedish bus stops, that would be very helpful, but I don't really know them, although I think there's a lot of red ones in this region, so I'm going to try it. We'll see if we're right. Oh, it was this one. Interesting. I don't claim to actually know that, but I did somewhat remember, which is nice. Okay, next one here. Thinking that it's going to be Guatemala. South American fence along the side of the road here, so that feels good. I think everything feels rather nice for Guatemala, and then we have the square blur here, which is common in Guatemala and uncommon elsewhere nearby. So I'm going to go like Flores region here, I think. Ooh, that was Colombia. Yeah, maybe should have considered that longer. I don't know, I still think that Guatemala was probably where I was going to end up going, but that was a difficult one for sure. And this one should be Russia, and indeed it is. Okay, so we had some difficult rounds so far. That Colombia, I'd really like to not be failing those types in the future, because some rounds, you just fail, but going the wrong continent, it hurts me. It does. Okay, next one here, gravelly road plus these bollards. Always going to mean you're in Turkey, and this kind of colder looking coverage is more indicative of the west, so I'm going to go here, but I'm not entirely sure here. That's a good guess. Okay, next one here, yellow outer lines. We got cat eyes on the road, so it should be somewhere in South Africa. Now, I just kind of thought this region here, not really sure though. And it was actually Cape Town region. That makes sense. Just some of the smaller Cape Town hills there. And this is Australia. This little patch of concrete road on the bridge definitely reminds me of New South Wales. So I'm gonna go there. But I could actually see Tasmania working quite nicely here as well. I don't really have good evidence for either which way. Although it does kind of feel cold. Yeah, I'm just thinking, if I'm playing in a tournament and this is like a knockout situation, I think I still go New South Wales, but I'm curious to see if it could be somewhere in Tas as well. Ooh, nice, it was Bathurst Hills there. Very nice, okay, that was a good guess. Next one here, probably, it's interesting. I think it's going to be in Philippines. We've got painted bottoms of the poles here, but, and I say Philippines in terms of Southeast Asia, one, because we have a lot of palms, and two, because we've got a little hook on the top of the pole. In that American style, obviously Philippines being like an American influenced country using a lot of American infrastructure things. Nevertheless, I do think South America, like Colombia, is possible here. But yeah, I think Philippines is easily the strongest on this type of round, and I kind of thought more north, although it could easily be south as well. We'll see. Okay, well, it's just middle there. It's fine. On a small island, I think. Okay, next one here. Ooh, really interesting antenna there. This shouldn't be too hard, but I don't immediately think I know what it is. I think it should be somewhere in Hungary. I guess the reason I was so confused at first is that we have an apartment building here, and Hungary tends to use a lot of single-story buildings, but yeah, we do have a multiple double-story ones. So I guess in Hungary, the logic you use if it looks weird, it's around the lake. So let's see if that works this time. Okay, complete opposite, but maybe that also explains it was maybe more Ukrainian architecture or something. I'm not really sure. Okay, this one is interesting. So we have what appears to be Russia, I would say. Do we have any blue strips on the plates here? Ooh, this is interesting. Okay, so I would say Russia, but what about Lithuania? I really wish we could see a little bit more here. We have also a little blur here. Sometimes in Lithuanian coverage, they have a lot of little blurs around the place, but yeah, it's interesting. I think it's one of the two countries, and it's surprisingly difficult. I think often in the Baltics, you get these kind of white brick houses, and it certainly kind of looks like that on this occasion. Then again, this is a Comicar, which of course you can find in Lithuania. It's easily more common in Russia though, so I'm kind of weighing up my options here. I think Russia is actually the better call, but it is not a pleasant round, I must say. So with A-type antenna, you would tend to find that around here, I guess. So, I mean, that also is in the similar kind of region. We'd expect to see this kind of brick architecture. So, yeah, I feel like ultimately this one's it's pretty much a big toss-up, but I am going to go for Russia, ultimately, and it was actually Latvia. That was my third thought, and it is right on the Lithuanian border, which doesn't surprise me, also pretty close to Russia, all things considered, so that was going to be a hard one to get, I think, in the first place. Okay, next one here, Uruguay, I thought. Yeah, so in terms of getting Uruguay here, yes, the poles help, but also we have a South American fence here and tons of cows. And Uruguay they have a lot of cows in that country, probably more than people if I'm honest, and also single white dashes in the center of the road is also something you see in Uruguay and Argentina, but longer lines, like longer unbroken lines in the center, they will be yellow. So that is a good way to get this part of the world. And let's see here. I think we might be on... Why am I trying to find a road in Uruguay? I'm just going to go for that. And it was in the center. Okay. Next one here. We're back to 1. I think Canada here, the kind of paler road, the kind of very open nature of it, and the fact that it feels quite north here, all making me feel pretty good about Canada here. And I'll just go like north of Edmonton, maybe. West of Edmonton there instead, still a pretty good guess. Next one here is South Africa. We got long plates, English language, very kind of subtropical feeling climate here, probably typical of north of Joburg, but we'll see here. And it was indeed north there. Yeah, definitely getting a bit into the subtropics there. This one, okay, these, I don't think I've talked much about this one on the channel, but these kind of saluting lamp posts are very Argentinian. I actually saw some in Sydney today, but I was like, wow, those are Argentinian lamp posts, not vice versa, if you understand what I'm saying. So, Entre Rios here could make sense, I think. I'm just going to go for that. It's going to be somewhere around there, I think. And it was in Santa Fe. Okay, so decent seed there. I think we maintained our country streaks. We're on 4. And this is going to be Brazil. So Brazil, as well, like Brazil uses the double yellow lines. And they're quite thick as well. I don't know if that's actually really an established meta, but definitely it just immediately doesn't look like Argentina because of that. And anywhere with this red kind of road in Argentina would probably be flatter than this as well. So feeling good about somewhere Parana down to Rio Grande do Sul, I think. And it was actually all the way up there in Minas Gerais. Was never going to get Minas Gerais there, but it does make sense, I guess. Next one here, .uk. So I think we can just trust that. Now, where in the UK would this be? I don't know. I kind of thought of like Bristol area. Nah. Let's go. Would Northampton ever have like a hill like this? I feel like this is a bit too hilly for there. Let's go Banbury. I don't really know where this is, to be honest with you. Okay, was actually in Chesterfield there. Definitely a place I've heard of. I mean, I feel like I've heard of so many places in the UK and yet don't really know them that well. Okay, this is Germany, I think, but with like Danish architecture, so all the way north. It is 2023 copyright, but they have that in Denmark as well. Something about the roofs feel very German, though. I really do believe this is Germany. I'm just trying to see if there's anything that could maybe make me go the other way. But no, there's not really. I just think it's Germany. I couldn't really describe. I think we'd probably see more red brick in, especially this house would probably be made of bricks in Denmark. But we'll see. Maybe it's just that house that makes me want to go Germany, and the ones behind are actually made of red brick. Do you see how they kind of have some red peeking through? But then again, no, this one's also German, I think. So that's my logic here, and we will go in Flensburg on the border, just in case we're wrong. Okay, was Lübeck there? That's a good guess. Okay, 7 countries in a row now. This is interesting. Ooh. Okay, so my first thought here was maybe Guatemala. Again, we have that square below, which is quite common in Guatemala. My second thought was maybe Mexico, also very possible. My third thought was like maximum north in Philippines, where you often get a surprisingly high number of pine trees. Now, I am kind of torn between these countries. I can actually see all 3 of them being quite good options here. Yeah, this is really interesting. I would love if we could at least see one building, but that's really lacking here because the buildings in the background are far too far to be able to make any kind of architectural inferences about. Nevertheless, we do have banana and coffee plants here, I think. So that's really interesting. That almost makes me feel that Philippines is better. I still, on the whole, think that maybe Guatemala is the strongest send here. But then again, it is very rural for Guatemala. There are not too many roads in Guatemala that were covered like this. So, I don't know, it's a weird like 50-50 to be in Guatemala and Philippines with Mexico as the third option. I don't really know. Maybe I should go Philippines. It really strikes me as very decently possible, especially this hill in the background. The fact that it's so green, which doesn't really fill me with confidence in terms of a Guatemala send here. I'm going to be perhaps a bit silly here and go Philippines. Am I? I think so. I think I'll do that. It's an interesting guess, and I still feel like, I don't know, I'm going to go. Let's see if we're right. Nah, it was Guatemala. Okay. Yeah, I got turned off going Guatemala just because of this earlier round we had over there, but yeah, I guess this was, I mean, yeah, it's just off a yellow road there. I feel like this is like a very small stretch of unpaved road or something that made that very difficult round. And also, It was exact latitude, I think, wasn't it? So that's annoying. Okay, next one here should be Chile. Chilean-style road signs mixed with the white road lines in the center. I meant street sign, the Chilean-style street sign there. Let's go to Temuco. Actually, I don't think it's Temuco, though. Yeah, it's actually Concepcion. Interesting. Okay, so there we go. You see, it was exactly the right latitude. Very annoying. This one should be Bolivia. We have that thick signpost that I had in the Geoguessr video the other day. And this road is often concrete as well. So yeah, got the right road there. Next one here. Bulgaria immediately came to mind here. Black back of the sign though. Maybe this is Romania. Romania typically has many more black backs of signs, and yet the architecture felt more Bulgarian here. Road also feels more Bulgarian, so really we'd be bargaining that the black back of the sign is not lying to us here. I don't know, like, it definitely seems like it could be either. However, I'm looking at more the shape of this pole through the leaves here, and it does kind of feel thick in a way that's probably too thick for Bulgaria. So I'm actually going to click middle Romania here, and it was just central southern there. So that makes sense. In all honesty, that was a good one to take a bit of time for. This one's Chile somewhere. Should be fairly far north there with that kind of Atacama landscape. Next one here, we're driving right, and we got a German bollard here, so I think we're going to be in Germany. Interesting big rumble strips here. Is this just Autobahn? I think so. Yeah, so I actually didn't know that Germany uses rumble strips like this. These are quite uncommon to find in continental Europe, really. I mean, I guess you can see them in the Baltic sometimes, and probably the UK has them as well, but it's quite uncommon. So this is a good one, a good little learning round here. And in terms of where, I don't even know. I actually don't really place this architecture too well, so I'm gonna go like near Leipzig here maybe. And okay, that's why it was Baltics. Okay, well that's really interesting. So the houses and the bollards. What's going on with the bollards here? I mean, I know like Lithuania does have similar bollards, but I thought these were just German ones. And so, yeah, it looks kind of German there. So does this one. But this one in the distance with the orange reflector, you can tell is a Lithuanian one. I don't know, it's just the fact that this one was blacked in, whereas this one, yeah, I could probably have gotten from these two that it wasn't there. But that is difficult. But yeah, again, the rumble strips, I don't think you'd find that in Germany. And maybe also where I guess they would have the other type of guardrails, probably. So yeah, little one for learning there. Just in hindsight here, I'm looking at the buildings. This building, I wasn't sure what to make of. But the buildings over here, I was like, yeah, those could be German. I guess it's just more modern architecture, so it was really harder to tell. If it was more traditional buildings, then we would have been fine, I think. But okay, back through here. Let's start to go pretty quickly here. I've been explaining everything, but we've got to like race through the initial rounds here, I think, because we've got to build up a decent streak before we start really delving into these rounds. Czechoslovak poles and bollards here. The road is really pale. That's strange, I must say. But I would say overall that it should be Slovakia. It looks more like Slovakia. I could see Czechia too. And it is Slovakia on that occasion. Very nice. Let's go for a good score on this seed. Next one here, German style pole, I want to say. Very green. A lot of red roofs going on here. I think this is a bit of a middle click type around. I might try Bavaria just for fun. But yeah, I'll go here. Let's try that. Okay, it was all the way north. Yeah, I wasn't really sure on that one. Next one here, US or Canada. Looks like a no passing sign. That's the US version. And I would say maybe like Oklahoma, Kansas here. Okay, actually even up as far as Nebraska there. Next one here, US again. Let's just send it in here. Not really sure where it actually is, but yeah, northeast. Next one here looks like it's going to be somewhere in Kaliningrad. Kaliningrad has those kind of Prussian tree rows on the side of the road. This pole top is also fairly common there. And then we have the Google car to help us out as well. And indeed, that was right near the city itself. That makes sense because it was very sunny. Next one here looks like it should be just Maseru. We have a big stadium there, so this one's definitely 5K-able. That's kind of there to our southwest, I guess. So where's the Maseru Stadium, actually? I guess stadiums don't often show up that well on the map, but we could say it's like, yeah, we could say it's the Setsoto Stadium, and we would be around here. Yeah, nice, okay. Very good there. And that is a good start to the seed. This one, now me and RC were playing the other day, and when you get this landscape, which should be Italian, it very often shows up in Sardinia, Sicily, but it often shows up around here as well. So I'm going to decide which one I think is better here. I still think Sardinia. We have a lot of wind turbines. I wonder if that could be a clue for this certain area. But yeah, I think you still have to go with Sardinia when you're playing alone. However, if you're playing with two people and you see this landscape as well, up here can be the play. And it was there. Okay, well, yeah, I got the feeling that maybe it was a bit too hilly for Sardinia. And there we go, we lose our good score, but our country streak is still on. Here we have red car, thick pole, like Balkan-style curbs in terms of Europe. So I would say Bulgaria here is the play. I think Bulgaria does have the red car sometimes. It's only in a few countries, and yeah, that was Bulgaria. Nice. Okay, next one here, Canada, dirt road, just grass, nothing going on. I could see US as well here. Like there's occasionally like Nebraska, Kansas stuff that can look like this, but should be actually Saska there, and it is. Next one here, just Korea. What can I really say here? It's just you know, the kind of pale road, driving right here, double yellows, but weird like road lines, weird roading system, and then the weird painted guardrails. It can only be Korea. It's just Asian infrastructure, and it was the center there. So a decent score there. We're on to 11, so the first decent streak of the video, really. Okay, finally loaded in here, very nice. And even though things are going slowly, I would say this is South Africa. Okay, and when you see this kind of landscape, I would say tends to be like just south of Pretoria. Now this is a nice interesting little learning round here, because we have long kind of golden-ish grass, and yet I don't believe this is the same golden grass that you would see in Eswatini. It's not quite right, and it's hard to say why, but combine that with the fact that we don't see any mountains at all, this also makes you feel better that it's not Eswatini, because Eswatini, pretty much the whole country is made of mountains, and you do get some flat parts where you could be able to look in a direction here and not see any hills, but that would be rare. So yeah, I'm just trying to think here. It could be here, here, or here, and I feel like this is most likely. We'll see though. Okay, it was just the southern section of what I was thinking there. Next one here, USA. Sometimes I like to go Minnesota with a concrete road, but ultimately I feel like these buildings feel a bit more southern, so if it's so flat, then let's just go on the quad point here. And it was actually Iowa, so kind of getting up towards what I was thinking. Next one here, just going to be somewhere in Sri Lanka with this A-frame concrete pole here. And I thought a bit further north here, not too sure, but yeah, just central northern is good. Next one here, going to be somewhere in, I think this one is UAE, just because of the infrastructure being quite high quality. We also have a wooden pole here, which you do see in UAE sometimes, so yeah, feeling pretty good that this is not Jordan, and definitely not Israel in my opinion. And that was indeed UAE. Nice. Next one here. Going to be somewhere in Bangladesh. We have a bunch of tuk-tuks here. Yeah, should just be somewhere pretty much downtown, but not entirely sure beyond that. So let's just go in Dakar here. Was very nearby there as well. Probably the best round of the seed there for really close guesses. Just the USA one, where I could have probably gone a bit further north, of course. This one's very sandy in a way that makes me think US over Canada, although are we even in the right continent here? We do have a hook on top of the pole there, so I think that obviously makes USA or Canada pretty likely. This property marker might be more of a Canadian one though, so we actually could be in with a bit of a 50-50 here. I was thinking with the sandiness that it should be US, but now I can actually see quite a good argument for Canada. So the next question is, what are these wooden huts looking like, and what are those trees in the background? Are they more of a northern pine or a southern pine? Because the characteristic thing about the southern pines is that they kind of have the branches growing more to the top of it, where we can't see what the bottom looks like here, so that's not, I guess, all that useful. I actually think I'm more leaning Canada here, and I think the particular reason is the property marker. So I think, yeah, I see another one over there, so I think this is like Ontario, Quebec, or something like that. So I'm going to go for it here. Not 100% confident. I think I would probably his at least 70-80% Canada. So I'm going to send it in here. And it was indeed on the border, like I thought, but actually the Quebec side. I think, yeah, it kind of looked like Ontario to me, but I think the blue markers might be Quebec. So that's kind of why I hedged my bets there a bit. That's good. Next one here going to be somewhere in Kyrgyzstan. Now, I feel like this is more the southern coverage because it's so flat. So I'm going to give that a go. Now, Osha sunny, Uzgen is miserable, Jalalabad maybe here. Okay, it was just Bishkek, that makes sense. Next one here. yellow filled in signs for Poland and Polish language as well. So this is a pretty simple round. Let's just send it in here and go to the next. We're on 19 now, so a good portion of the way there. Uruguay here, Uruguayan thick white signposts. So again, pretty nice one here, pretty forgiving. We definitely take rounds like that on high streaks. Okay, next one here will be somewhere, I believe, in Senegal. Yeah, the people have an African appearance here, I would say. The language is also French, which really helps. And then it feels like a bigger city, so I'd say St. Louis or Dakar, and Dakar feels most likely to me here, though, yeah, it was always possible to be elsewhere. And there we go, 23k there as well. And also with some suboptimal guesses, so that could have been really high. This, I feel like I've had the round before, and I feel like the obvious choice here is Serbia, with the kind of dry cornfields, very sunny, very flat. Road quality also probably fits quite nicely here. I was trying to think if there's any other options, actually. I feel like it's just a home and host Serbia here, so let's just click all the way north, because I feel like it's very northern here. Yeah, nice. Good start to the seed. Next round here, what are we going to get? Some Malaysia action. Now, I have a very cheeky guess here. One, I think this is somewhere on Borneo, or around Borneo. And two, why did that kind of remind me of Labuan territory here? Now, I think I've figured out why I think it's Labuan, because we have some blue barrels here, and blue barrels, I figured out, are very common in Labuan territory. So I'm gonna say we're on the 700 here. Could it be possible to nail it completely? Well, we bend around here to our south, and this bend is to the east. So I guess that would make it more something like this or something. I don't know. Yeah, something like that. I don't really know. Like, my compass reading skills are pretty lackluster at best, but I'm gonna go right there. And oh man, do we have the 5k there? No, we didn't, but that's good. That is a really, really nice guess, honestly. Labuan, yeah, lots of blue barrels there. You can find them elsewhere as well, but definitely pretty distinctive to that area. And this one immediately has me confused, honestly. First thought was just Eswatini. The sun is north, so we're definitely dealing with something southern hemisphere here. But the rock walls are weird for Eswatini, I think. And is that a wooden pole, or is that just part of the tree? I can't work that out. Yeah, so the other option here was like Chile to me. But, okay, I think this is just actually Eswatini. But these piles of rocks are very sus. Very sus indeed. So that's what really has me confused here. Obviously we're on a stonking score here, so let's try and go for the right region. We have a pretty close range here to our north. To our northwest, or northeast, sorry, and then like more distant stuff going on down there. So I feel like this is kind of just central if it is Eswatini. I'm still not entirely sure, you know. Okay, so we could be, this is more like north climate or something. I don't know what this is. I'll go like there maybe. But am I right? Yes, we have a lot of eucalyptus. That feels good for Eswatini. Yeah, I think it is Eswatini. I'm very like sketched out, because most Eswatini rounds are fairly easy. And this one is not. But yeah, it's interesting. It's interesting. The fence also fits nicely enough, I think. It's just normally when it's Eswatini, I feel very secure, and this one is not such a round. Like, I would say 95% of Eswatinis are easy these days. Yeah, I'm gonna send it in, and we'll find out if we're wrong or not. And yeah, it was Chile. Wow, very interesting. So there we go. I should have trusted my gut feeling that something's wrong there. And yet, I feel like most experienced Geo players, maybe they would say it's a silly guess, but they could probably at least see where I'm coming from there. Yeah, I mean, So here's also the concern. Here's just let me break this down before I end the video. So also, I'm looking this direction, and I'm thinking, we should normally see, if say this was Chile, we'd normally see the back of the white car here driving right. So then I'm looking at this, and I'm thinking, okay, if we're driving left, then the back of the car would be over here, which is normally visible. Unfortunately, on this occasion, this is just like some weird coverage with no car at all, I think. So that also makes life difficult. It also kind of felt a bit low camera here. Like I guess it was just a tall fence, but yeah, and also wooden poles, man, like it's very difficult. But that pole top is not Eswatini, and I could see it, so a bit of a throw. But maximum, this zoom out, it's hard. Yeah, ultimately not a good guess to end it off there, but A streak of 23 is still nothing to be scoffed at, and I'm still relatively happy with how I played here. So guys, thank you very much for watching the video all the way to the end. I hope you enjoyed it. Hope you enjoyed the explanations as well. Give the video a like if you did enjoy, and if you're still here, I really do thank you for that. And yeah, till next time, guys. Goodbye.